Welcome to the OMG Show.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OMG Show. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, today we're going to talk about a subject, a topic that many people find interesting, and there's no real way to answer it because it's kind of like a moving target. But today's question, or today's topic, is profitable paid traffic. And the question is, how do I convert paid traffic into a funnel that is profitable? So there's a lot going on here when it comes to this question. First is, how do we make paid traffic profitable? Or how do we convert that paid traffic into a funnel that is profitable, right? So first things first, when we're looking at using paid traffic, right, paid traffic has to be pretty much the last thing we take a look at. We have to look at our offer first, and then the sales process in place, which is our funnel, to see, what's going to happen, to kind of figure out what that customer journey is, okay? And number one that I'm going to tell you is that when you're looking at your sales process, you want to make sure that you're looking at how you can reduce friction, okay? If you can reduce customer friction, you're going to increase your conversions. Okay. Now, friction can be a number of things. It could be the actual process, right? Are you making the customer jump through hoops in order to get something easy? Friction could be the complication of the copy, how simplified it is or how complicated the copy is. The mechanism used to deliver. They may not understand. For example, like if you're doing a virtual summit, many people don't understand what that means yet. So it has a lot of different moving parts when it comes to removing friction. But, use the KISS method, right? Keep it super simple, right? When it comes to your sales process, your sales funnel, keep it super simple. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Just make it very easy, very streamlined. Okay. Now, the other thing, the bigger thing, in my opinion, that comes into play when, you're talking about running paid traffic profitably to a funnel is figuring out your numbers. Okay. You have to know your numbers before you even touch your ads, because you need to see, what the benchmark is. You need to have something that you can test against to determine whether or not your ads are working or they're not. Okay. So how do we determine this? All right. Again, we start with the offer, and then we look at the sales process. Okay. Traditional sales process, right? Like most online sales funnels are, here is the landing page. You opt in. There's the offer page. Then there's like an upsell, and then there's like a thank you page. Okay, so that's a traditional and sales process. In that sales process, there's essentially 3 steps. There's the opting in, right? So going from the landing page to the offer page, that's one action. Going from the offer page to the upsell page, that's the second action, and then going from the upsell page to the final thank you page. That's 3 different actions right there. Okay, so at each point there is going to be drop off. Right, the number of steps, the more steps you have in your funnel, the more areas of drop off you have. Okay, so this is kind of where we start talking about plugging in the holes in your funnel, because at every step there is going to be a drop off. All right, and I have yet to see a funnel that converts 100% all the way through. Okay, the day I meet that person, that's it. I'm a devotee. I'm just gonna learn what they're doing and apply. Okay, but we look at that process and we say, okay, well, what do we think is going to be the drop off rate or the take rate for each step, right? So we say, okay, we think that between the landing page and the offer page, the initial offer page, we're going to say, even before that, we say from people clicking from the ad to the landing page and opting in, what should that percentage be? Well, we feel pretty good that we might be able to convert 20% of those people. Okay, great. So 20% of those people are going to go to the actual offer page. On the offer page, how many people are those actually going to buy? What percentage is that? Boom. Okay, and out of that percentage, what percentage of people are going to take the upsell? Okay, great. So as you can see, as you're going through the process, you're going from a wide audience, and it starts getting narrow and narrow and narrow, right? Just like a funnel. So in order to figure out what the numbers are, you look at what you're trying to sell and you figure out what's called the average order value. So if 100 people go through that process, that 20%, then whatever those percentages are, you figure out what that average order value is. Okay. And so let's say it's $100 what the average order value is. What you then do is then work those numbers backwards, meaning you divide that average order value by all those different percentages, starting from the upsell to the initial offer to the landing page conversion. And as you start dividing that offer by those percentages, you're going to start determining what your cost per lead needs to be and what your cost per click needs to be. Okay. So now we have a way of figuring out whether or not our ads are hitting the mark. Okay. If we determine that, by looking at our $100 average order value, and we work the numbers backwards, and we determine that that we need to have a cost per lead of $10 and a cost per click of $5. Okay, then when we start running our ads, now we can measure. So if our ad is coming in at $6 cost per click, we know that we need to work on the ads. Okay, if our cost per lead is coming in at $5, then we know our landing page is doing really, really good. On the other hand, if it's coming in at $15, we know that the landing page is where the issue is and we need to start tweaking that. Okay. Excuse me, I'm kind of under the weather here. But anyways, the show must go on, right? As they say. So when you're running those numbers, you have to figure out, again, what that cost per click is and what that cost per lead. So now you can test it when you run your ads. Once you figure out what those numbers are, then it's all about looking at the ad creation process, right? Especially if you're using, for example, Facebook or anything else, you have to determine what platform am I using and how can I best use this platform to accomplish my goal, right? For example, Google AdWords, typically you have kind of like the headline and a basic description. Facebook, you have, the option of doing an image, a video, a carousel, dynamic, bunch of different options, plus a headline and a description. Right? YouTube, most of the time it's videos, but then you have like that right sidebar option in video, all these other different methods. But so you have to ask yourself, okay, which platform would best serve my needs? Okay. And another thing you want to ask too is which platform has more of my audience? Okay. So once you determine the platform that you're going to be using, determine your strategy. Okay. So if I'm limited to these parameters, how can I make the most out of these parameters? Okay. And what you want to do, it all comes down to copy. People are always talking about like the pixel, the algorithm, all this other stuff, whatever. Those companies are going to change their algorithms over and over and over again. But what doesn't change is the psychology of your market, right? What people are attracted to doesn't change. What people resonate with doesn't necessarily change. We're very, it's kind of like a routine. We're very habitual creatures. So knowing that, copy plays a vital role in terms of your profitability when it comes to using paid traffic. You need to make sure that the ad that you're creating both attracts and repels the people that you want and don't want, right? And that they're aimed at solving a specific problem. So if you write ad copy that tells exactly or attracts exactly who you want and pushes away exactly who you don't want, and talks about a solution that solves a specific problem, then everything else down the funnel has to comply by those parameters as well. It's what I like to call the line of logic, right? I'm not going to ask you to opt in for a workout program and then try to sell you a box of rocks. like that's not going to happen, right? More often than not, I'm going to ask you to purchase a workout program, and then on top of that, I might add a nutrition program, and then I might add like private one-on-one coaching or something like that. Okay, that follows a line of logic, sequence, because it's a logical step. Okay, I have my workout. Oh, you know what? I might also need my meal plan. You know what? I might need help not doing this on my own. Okay, so if you want to think about kind of like a funnel and making it profitable, think about those steps in terms of, okay, the first offer is kind of like a very basic initial offer, but then the second upsell, if you will, is kind of more like a supplementary, like how can I help them get faster and easier results? And then finally, the final upsell, the final offer you might have is, okay, like mastery, right? Like looking at the workout example, I could do this workout on my own, get some results, right? Perfect. Next one is supplements. That first one by being a nutrition program. Okay, so it's a nice, easy upsell, right? The take rate on that should be rather high. And then finally, it's true mastery. So we're getting into talking about one-on-one coaching. That way you can really get the results you're looking for, right? But none of that stems, or none of that actually happens until you map out that entire process and look at the numbers, right? You got to figure out what your average order value is, and then look at how many steps you have in your sales process. Figure out between each step what the drop-off rate is going to be, okay, or the conversion rate, right? So I think, again, between my if 100 people land on my landing page, 30 people are going to opt in. Okay, so that's 30%. Out of those 30 people, I think 5 are going to purchase the program, and out of those 5, I think 1 is going to purchase the upsell. So you figure out what those percentages are, and then you look at your average order value. You work the numbers backwards. You determine what your cost per click and cost per lead needs to be. Then you focus on your ads by writing some incredible copy that solves a specific problem. Okay, and then you put them through a sales funnel that uses that line of logic mentality, where they're going from, this one-off program or one-off offer to something that is supplementary, that's going to help them get results faster and easier, to then an offer that is going to achieve some type of mastery. And this is typically like your higher end one-on-one coaching, or consulting services, etc., etc. Okay, and that's pretty much how you line up a sales process that's going to make paid traffic profitable. All right, when you hit those numbers, you're going to be able to scale, knowing that as long as you hit those benchmark metrics, you're going to be able to increase the budget, and you're going to be able to scale your ads. Okay, so that's it for today's episode of the OMG show. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, then you're going to love what I have for you. It's my automatic sales system for online businesses. It's going to show you the 4 proven methods that you need to have in your business to make it run on autopilot. I use these 4 all the time, and paid traffic is one of those methods. So you definitely want to check it out for sure. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope to see you tomorrow in another episode of the OMG show. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.